This training video will aid in the proper setup and teardown of any Reeves EMS multi-lane decontamination system. Unload all equipment from storage location or trailer. Shelter, berm, and tarp should be offloaded first. These can be set up while others finish offloading equipment. Setup responsibilities and tasks should already be designated to personnel, such as a team leader. For training purposes, lay out a ground tarp and secure before deploying berm. This will reduce wear and tear on berm from glass or other sharp objects, as well as rigid surfaces. Unfold berm so that it is lying flat. Sidewalls are marked and should be collapsed and flipped under, while the opposite entrance-exit walls should be collapsed forward with yellow safety markings facing upward. Place shelter in berm and unbuckle outside straps on storage bag. Untie rope and open top of bag. Remove the 4 white push poles. Finish removing shelter from bag and center in berm. Note that a line of wire loops on top indicates a shelter sidewall. Align the sidewalls of the shelter with the sidewalls of the containment berm. Loosen and remove straps on shelter. Place them in storage bag and place bag off to side. Make sure that plain and looped keepers are exposed at top of shelter before expanding. With personnel at each corner, grab the framework as high up to the hubs as possible. Simultaneously lift and expand the shelter by walking backwards. It is important that you do not drag the shelter on the ground. If resistance is felt as you expand the shelter, yell "stop" and check for obstructions. Ensure entrance-exit doors are not draped over top of shelter. It is important that fabric is removed from top of shelter on both ends. Move personnel to openings with 2 people on each end. Personnel should locate the red tabs which mark the lifting points. In unison, lift the shelter to chest height and place push poles under the red tabs for support. With shelter supported by the lifting poles, lights and center drop-down shower wands should be installed. 2 red wands designate an injected solution line, while 2 black wands designate a rinse line. Quick connect the color-coded wands in the non-ambulatory lane according to the directional flow of patients, red closest to entrance and black closest to exit. Grasp the push pole. Lift the shelter until the bottom hubs of both walls sit level on the ground. Berm walls can now be set up around the outside of the shelter. Shelter will sit entirely within berm for complete runoff containment. Set up both sidewalls first. Leave one entrance-exit wall collapsed to allow for wheeling in the roller system. Secure shelter by unwinding wind lines and staking into ground. Pull against tensioner to tighten wind lines. Secure doors open with Velcro strap. Do not strap around the framework. Sandbags can be placed on outside sidewall skirts to assist in securing. Wheel the non-ambulatory roller system into shelter through the collapsed berm end. Expand in center so that roller spans from end to end of shelter's non-ambulatory lane. Adjust height of roller if necessary. Locate the secondary locking device. Slide up ring, turn knob to inside, and tighten to lock. Set wheel locks on each end and ensure all wheels are facing inward. To complete containment area, set up final wall of berm. Place elevation grids on each side of roller and then cover all remaining floor space with grids. Elevation grids provide extra stability and height when decontaminating patients. Set submersible pump inside berm at lowest corner and attach discharge hose to pump. Shower connections are covered and protected by a red rubber cap. To access connection, gently squeeze rubber cap and pull down. Attach shower head by mating male and female connections together. Feed supply hoses through utility port in shelter's sidewall. Remove plugs on end of the integrated plumbing and cam lock the male end of the red and black supply hoses accordingly. Install lane division curtains in shelter by mating Velcro strips together. Lastly, anchor curtains to grids using supplied bungee cords. The shelter is now ready for use. Wheel water heater into position between shelter and water source. Release caps on unit. Cam lock water discharge hoses to heater. Be sure to connect red hose to solution port and black hose to rinse port. Connect water source using standard 1.5-inch NST fire hose. Be sure to bleed NST hose before connecting to heater. Ensure onboard tank has adequate fuel for operation. Plug 50-foot burner motor cord into a 110-220-volt outlet. Handle GFCI box with care. Ensure heater valve is closed by turning red wing knob towards cold. Turn on water at source with control valve closed. The water flow will stop at the valve. Open valve slightly with shower heads open. Allow water to flow for 1 minute to push any air pockets out of entire system. Turn power switch to the on position. Use red control knob to regulate water temperature. Once desired temperature is reached, unit will cycle as needed. Temperature will not rise above the factory preset 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Exhaust gases disperse at the top of the heater. Exercise caution in this area as the gases are extremely hot. Before operating the injection system, fill solution tank with surfactant or soap mixture. Quick connect draw tube to tank and turn on injector. To turn on injector, turn red knob clockwise until you hear the piston begin to click up and down. Unit will begin injecting solution and dispensing it through red discharge hose. To turn off injector, turn red knob out counterclockwise until piston stops clicking. Ensure that pressure-reducing valve has been set to a maximum of 70 psi. If it is not, please contact the factory for instructions. To adjust solution rates, even while water is flowing, start by removing black C-clamp and turning adjustment sleeve to the desired solution rate. Plus and minus arrows will assist you. Replace C-clamp when desired solution rate is reached. Solution injection rate will be displayed in open window on the adjustment sleeve. Turn off heater power switch. Allow water to continue to flow through heater and shower heads for 3 to 5 minutes. This must always be done before closing red control valve after you've been heating water. Disconnect draw tube from solution tank and place into a fresh, clean water bucket. Allow to run through the injector until no soap is seen coming out of shower heads. Turn injector off when water is clear and water temperature is in yellow range on temperature gauge. Turn water source off while leaving the control valve open. Disconnect water source from heater and screw on black air adapter. Quick connect compressed air hose to heater and blow water out of heater, supply hoses, and integrated plumbing lines simultaneously. It is important that injector is off when blowing air through system. Unscrew black filter housing on injector. Dump water, rinse both filter and housing, and screw filter housing back on. Unscrew draw hose at black ribbed swivel and drain piston housing. Be careful not to lose O-ring. Then replace onto unit. Remove white curtains by detaching bungee from bottom and Velcro connection on top. Fold curtain neatly in halves and take away. Detach supply hoses and recap. Detach shower heads and replace red protective cap. Remove all shower wands and replace all protective caps. Detach discharge hose from pump and remove pump from containment berm. Remove elevation grids from shelter and ready roller system by compacting together. Begin to collapse berm walls. Side walls should be collapsed and flipped under, while entrance-exit walls should be collapsed forward with yellow safety markers visible. Compacted roller system can now be removed from shelter. Lift corners of shelter one at a time in order to flatten corners of berm. This ensures shelter does not catch on corners of berm when striking. With team member, simultaneously lift and slide out walls approximately 6 inches to clear berm. Locate striking position and place hand underneath hub of striking point. Ensure no personnel or equipment is inside of shelter. On team member's command, simultaneously lift and step back to strike shelter. Grab framework as high up to the hub as possible and lift shelter off of ground in unison. Walk inward to compact shelter. It is important that you do not drag shelter on ground. Locate wind lines and remove from in-between struts. Retrieve cinch straps and place around compacted shelter. Tighten straps and ensure both buckles are lined up and facing same direction. After tightening both straps, lay the shelter on its side, compress shelter again, and retighten straps. Stand shelter with cover facing up, and place transport bag over shelter. Pivot shelter slightly and place lip of bag underneath. Lay shelter down on its side and retrieve push poles. Place push poles in bag and on top of shelter. Cinch top closed by pulling on rope. Make a quick release knot and place slack inside bag. Tighten cinch straps around bag. Fold strap to remove any remaining slack. Remove bagged shelter from berm. Starting with sidewalls, fold berm lengthwise in quarters so that it is compact and easy to carry. Note the location of sidewalls and entrance-exit sides for next deployment of the berm. Once the berm is folded neatly, remove from sight and pack away. The system is now packed and ready for its next deployment.